What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. What do you do when your ego just keeps coming in and telling you that you're not doing enough? You're not enough. You should be over here. You should look like that. What the fuck do you do to shut that voice off? There's usually two voices. There's two pieces. So there's our soul voice and then there's our ego voice. So our soul voice is our truest expression. It's our full authentic self. And then there's the ego voice that makes things a little more challenging. How do you find a balance between the two? It's really important to first decide what voice you need to be a little bit higher than the other, perhaps, in a certain situation. The ego gets a really bad rap because there's a lot of constriction and emotional suffering that can be given from the ego. But the ego has its benefits too. If we didn't have an ego, we wouldn't be here right now in this body. If we didn't have an ego, we wouldn't want to progress. We wouldn't want to expand. We wouldn't have the desire to actually grow our soul. So you need to have both voices. So it's not necessarily about getting rid of the ego voice. It's about learning how to work with it. And it's about learning when to turn each volume up. So the soul voice, you want to be in touch with that more than anything, and then use and pull the ego in when you feel it's important to perhaps excel, to pump yourself up. The important piece is for you to be mindful when the ego voice gets really loud and starts to dull the voice of your soul voice, your authentic self, and just completely like push this out of the picture because this one is so fucking loud, because that's not fun. And that's when there's usually a lot of suffering and a lot of self-judgment. It's important to recognize, I'm going to tell you right now something that you probably would never think I would say, and that is that you're perfect. You're perfect. The name of my podcast is the Excellence Over Perfection podcast because we strive for excellence over perfection. However, the knowing that I want you to take with you is that you are already perfect. You've always been perfect. You're moving in a perfect divine timing. Your process is perfect. Your body is perfect. Everything is perfect. It's already perfect. That is so important to remember, because when that ego voice comes in and starts to tell you otherwise, turn up that voice of your soul, of your authentic self, of the knowing that you are already perfect. You were created perfect. Your process is perfect. Now, I know it might sound like that sounds really easy, but how do I actually apply that? Because me just telling myself I'm perfect isn't going to actually make a difference for me in that moment when the ego gets really fucking loud, right? Remember that. Maybe create an affirmation around it. I am perfect in my messiness, whatever it is that feels good for you. But then if that's not really working, if that switch from decrease to increase isn't really effective, you might need to give that ego voice a voice. It probably wants to be heard. It wants to be given the space to be understood. So whether it's bringing up areas of judgment that you haven't fully accepted within yourself, or maybe it's bringing up stories from the past, right? It's telling you you're not enough. Okay, why is it telling you not enough? When was the last time you felt like you weren't enough? Can you trace that back to an earlier memory? It probably wants to be heard and wants to be worked through so that you can then understand, bring awareness and light to that experience that brought forward that uncomfortable emotion and pain for you to actually complete the memory and move forward into the light, into the loving, into your acceptance, into your knowing of your perfection. So try those two approaches. Let me know how it goes down in the comments. I love you guys, and I'll catch you in the next episode.